Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we're going to talk about a decision that honestly can make or break your organization's growth. Choosing the right e-learning platform. And this isn't just about software. It's about shaping your team's skills, boosting engagement, and maybe even unlocking whole new revenue streams. So let's just start with why this matters so much right now. It's true that over 80% of companies are already using e-learning, but the real story, the thing you really need to pay attention to, is what's coming next. A staggering 90% are planning to expand their programs. This isn't just a trend. It is a fundamental shift in how we build a skilled workforce. So, of course, this huge shift creates a massive problem for leaders, right? You know you need a platform, but you look out there and there are literally hundreds of options. It can be completely paralyzing. So how do you cut through all that noise and find the one that's a perfect fit? Well, we're about to show you how.
To get you from that feeling of where do I even start to having real strategic clarity, we've broken the whole process down into 5 key steps. We'll start by looking at the stakes, then we'll define your why, list your must-have features, focus on user experience, and finally, we'll vet the technology and the budget. All right, first up, let's really get clear on the stakes here. Choosing an e-learning platform. You'll often hear it called an LMS, a learning management system. This is a huge strategic decision. I mean, we're not just talking about another IT purchase. This is a serious investment in the future of your organization. And hey, let's talk about money for a second. The financial impact here is staggering. For a lot of associations, e-learning isn't just a nice little perk for members. It is a massive revenue driver. We're talking nearly 58% of all their non-dues income. You get this decision right, you've built a growth engine. You get it wrong, and you're looking at a costly mistake that just frustrates everybody. Okay, so where in the world do you begin? It all comes back to strategy. Seriously, before you even think about looking at a demo or a fancy feature list, you've got to figure out where you're going. You have to start with your why. First things first, who are you building this for? I mean, really think about it. The needs of a brand new employee who's just trying to figure out where the virtual coffee machine is, well, that's completely different from a seasoned pro who needs very specific continuing education credits just to keep their license. Defining your audience is filter number 1. Okay, next up, what is the actual business problem you're trying to fix? Getting crystal clear on your strategic goals is it's non-negotiable. Are you trying to open up new revenue streams? Or maybe you just need to make sure everyone does their mandatory compliance training so you don't get in trouble. Or maybe it's bigger. Maybe you're trying to upskill your entire workforce for what's coming next. Whatever it is, that goal is going to point you to the right kind of platform. And lastly, what's your teaching style going to be? How will you actually deliver the content? Are we talking simple, self-paced video courses, live webinars where everyone can interact? Or are we talking formal, high-stakes assessments for certification? This is a fundamental piece of the puzzle that will immediately start narrowing down your options. All right, so once you've really nailed down your why, it's time to move on to your what. This is where you get practical and create a really clear, prioritized checklist of the absolute must-have tools for both your learners and your admins. The best way to do this, hands down, is to make a simple must-have versus nice-to-have list. It forces you to get honest and separate your non-negotiables, like, say, an assessment engine for quizzes, from the cool bonus features, like a built-in course authoring tool. This is how you avoid getting distracted by all the shiny new bells and whistles that you don't actually need. And this is a perfect example of how your goals connect directly to the features you need. See, if your main goal is to make money, then you absolutely need strong e-commerce tools, shopping carts, payment gateways, the whole shebang. But if your goal is all about professional development for your members, then powerful certification tools for tracking credits and delivering certificates become your non-negotiable priority. Okay, and this brings us to a really, really important point. You can have the most powerful, feature-packed platform in the world, but if it's clunky and frustrating to use, it's useless. That's why the user experience for both your learners and your admins is it's everything. So what does a great user experience look like? Well, it really comes down to 3 things. 1, it has to be intuitive, easy to navigate. 2, it has to be completely mobile-friendly for learning on the go. And 3, it needs to be accessible for everyone, including users with disabilities. Nobody gets left behind. And while we're on the topic of user experience, let's talk about engagement. You can't underestimate this. Things like gamification, adding points, badges, leaderboards. Studies show this can more than double how much people engage. It turns learning from a chore into something that's actually motivating, maybe even fun.
And hey, this isn't just some abstract theory. Look at the real-world impact here. The nonprofit Big Brothers Big Sisters, they brought in a new platform that really focused on user experience. By using all the interactive and community tools, they boosted training readiness for their volunteers by a whopping 84%. That is the power of putting your users first.
Okay, we're on the home stretch. You've defined your strategy, you've picked out your key features, you've prioritized the user experience. Now it's time for the final step, the due diligence, making absolutely sure the platform fits your tech and your budget. Think of this as your final 3-point check. First, the tech fit. Does it integrate smoothly with your other key systems, like your CRM? Does it support standard content formats like SCORM? That's super important for portability. Second, the budget. You got to look past the sticker price to the total cost of ownership. And third, the vendor themselves. You have to remember, you're not just buying a piece of software. You are choosing a partner for the long haul. And when we talk about budget, please remember that the price tag you see is just the tip of the iceberg. The real cost, the total cost of ownership, is everything hiding below the surface. We're talking implementation fees, data migration, any add-ons you'll need, and premium support. You've got to factor all that in from day one, or you're going to get some nasty surprises down the road. So let's wrap this all up. By following this framework, defining your why, identifying those must-have features, prioritizing the user experience, and then vetting the tech and budget, you can move forward with total confidence. You'll know that the platform you choose isn't just another line item on a budget. It's a real strategic asset, an engine that's going to drive growth, engagement, and results you can actually measure. So I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on as you move forward. Ask yourself this: is the platform you're considering just an expense? Or is it a strategic investment in your people, your mission, and your future? Because getting this right isn't just about buying a tool, it's about building what comes next.